Hey everyone, what's up? This is Gray Man coming at you from the GaMaZaRaM. Welcome. I have a map here for a tactical scenario. This map is in Roll20. I'm going to add 3 things to this map. 3 map items that are going to drastically change the visual story that this map tells. So let's do that. I'm first going to a tile set called Vile Tiles. By the way, this base map came from Quick Encounters Plains, I believe. Yeah, Quick Encounters Plains, which is by Gabriel Picard. This set that I'm using for the cliffs that I'm about to put on here also come from Gabriel Picard. Okay. I'm going to add 3 things to this map, and these 3 things are going to drastically change the story that this map tells. Here's the first. That's one. I'm going to add another one, my second. I'm going to change that. I want to use this one instead. As soon as I saw that, I knew I wanted to use it. Okay, this is my second item. One more item. I know which item I want. Let's zoom out. Let's see what we have. Let's look at our original map. Check out that scenario. A couple of people on horseback traveling up to this watering hole. 5 or so dudes, bandits, laying ambush. Let's look at the new scenario. How did the story change just by adding a few map items? Think about that. Now, if combat is begun with these characters, let's say that these 3 are our player characters. These characters now have options. The tactical scenario, the tactical situation changes significantly. And those options are a good thing. Everything I put on my map needs to help tell that story. So when you put items on a map, I know we as storytellers, especially those of us who are really heavy into Roll20, we have a tendency to want to add a shit ton of detail to our maps. And I'm the most guilty person when it comes to this. I want to load my maps with all kinds of cool shit because I find it all the time. And as soon as I find it, I want to throw it in my games. Do your props, do your map items help tell the story? Think about that. If they don't put them on there. Use your map items to help tell your story. Through a few map items, I've significantly changed this scenario. Even if I hadn't planned for this ambush to look like this. After playing around with some of these items, a story has developed in my mind now, and I'm happy to use that story or to let that story inspire me. So think about that. If you do design maps like this, think about how elevation can be used to add options for characters. Think about how adding cover or an obstacle like a big rock, right, to change line of sight can affect the way your characters come upon a situation, the options they can take. Does it always have to end in a fight? Maybe if you add features and environment that the characters can interact with, that can allow them avenues to escape without having to fight if they don't want to do that. A simple thing like a tree can add tremendously to the tone and theme of a map or an encounter. Especially this dead tree. To me, when I see a dead tree like that, especially in this plains type environment, I think kind of Old West. So it imparts that vibe, that Old West vibe, which for Game of Thrones, I think it can be fitting depending on what house you're playing. So think about that. I'm not going to go into any more detail with this map. I just wanted to use this as an example to show you how easy it can be to add a few cliffs, some rocks, a tree or two, to add some options, to add elevation, to add cover to a combat encounter. If you have any other tips you'd like to share, please feel free to add those in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. Some of these, you can take maps like this and just go deeper and deeper and deeper and make more detailed and complex maps. And for certain scenarios, that might be really helpful. But if you're using a pre-generated map like this one, you can reuse it as many times as you want because you can add features. Right? You can add terrain, you can add cliffs, you can add different kinds of trees, different kinds of foliage, you can add more vegetation, animals, anything under the sun you can add to change and diversify this map. So it has a lot more uses. I've used this map in several of my games. This exact scenario I've used in various factions. I've even done a snow version of this using this map as the template. So keep that in mind. Storytellers, give your players options. If you're not giving your players options, you're doing it wrong. So Gray Man is out now. I'll talk to you guys later.